What's the length on that one?
Use your estimating skills.
Hey, Ron here. I'm at Arms and Armour, and we're doing a live feed real quick because we just walked in. I hope we didn't miss anything too entertaining. I was having trouble setting this up. Let's see what I can do here about switching our camera around, and you'll see what I'm seeing. I promised I would get this right. Hopefully this is actually not some kind of vertical cell phone image, but we're actually seeing a true image. That's Craig here in front of me, and they are looking at Roland Warzecha's training weapons, his training swords, which if they had nice edges on them, I would say they'd be excellent swords. Just, I mean, the balance and the way they feel I've got to hold them and use them. And they're thinking about making a production line of them. So if anyone's interested in them from Arms and Armour, if it all goes through, you'll actually be able to get Roland Warzecha's actual training blades. I mean, replicas of them.
That's awesome.
Roland's demonstrating one of the techniques we've been working on. And over there you see Arthur von Eschen. This place is like a candy store, just like last time when you're actually in the production area. Oh, definitely beautiful. Yeah. Some of you may recognize Craig from last time. He was one that gave a lecture on iron, and that's what we're doing. Is we're actually going to be judging a competition that was done with bloomery iron and charcoal fire. So later today we're going to be going over there and looking at the finished results that our two contestants, Andy and Jason, put together, and see how well the Saxes fare and how well they compare to historical ones. It's just these guys were used to blades that were actually, modern that they work with, so it's a lot different working with bloomery iron and that type of fire with bellows.
We got two. He's got two with slightly different grip lengths.
And we've got some beautiful swords over here. While they're discussing what they're discussing, I'm assuming we can go through and look at some of these blades that are in construction and being worked on of different eras and times. Look at that tang on that one, I'm sorry. If they put a tang on something that has a tang, they put a tang on it. That one I'm sure is ready to be peened. And see how they actually peen the handles. You see how it goes through the actual Viking style hilt. Roland's holding one of the new swords that they have for Viking reenactment. Is that one of the, that's not a sharp, is it?
No, that's a training sword.
It's a training sword, yeah. That's the ones we were using. If you saw a little, I don't know if we actually put anything out yet of us sparring, but we're going to be putting out some videos of us actually doing some free sparring and him instructing me, giving me some pointers and techniques. And it should be awesome. Have a good balance to it, Roland?
Yeah, they're really nice. I really like them. They're really good.
I can still have yours for
All right, it's kind of bright behind me, so it seems like it's bleeding through on the camera in an odd way. So I hope everybody's seeing everything appropriately. And it looks like he's getting ready right here to get the measurements and balance, pointed balance, and everything they need to be able to reproduce such weapons. So he wants to, what is it, you're looking for an 18C blade? They're asking if there's any 18C blades here. Type 18C.
Wide ones.
Did you say live or what?
No, it said wide or skinny.
Wide or skinny, he asked. Craig Johnson, right?
Yeah.
If you want to say hi to everybody, they can see you. This is live. I mean, the whole idea is this is just something to give them a view of what we see when we're walking around in here and hanging out. Yeah, Oakeshott typology.
Why don't you grab the...
Hey, I think he's pretty familiar with it. This is where they house all the blades from the Ewart Oakeshott Institute.
With the risers in it on the grip.
See what you did here with this pommel just being slightly wider on that side. I've noticed that on another.
And I saw you guys last year, and if anybody recognizes him from the other video, I think you were about 2 years ago. Yeah, it was like I said last year, but it was 2 years ago. You want to introduce yourself to everybody and
Sure.
tell them what you do here?
Dale Utt. I'm a fellow with the Oakeshott Institute, and I do some consulting work with Arms and Armour. Also, my business, Ewart Archive, is responsible for doing the 3D modeling of the collection.
Oh, where they're putting the whole Ewart Oakeshott collection online in 3D models. I've seen some of that work. It is spectacular. Is there a website they can go to see that?
Yeah, if you go directly to the Oakeshott Institute's website, or if you go to Sketchfab, which is the YouTube of 3D models, go on there and look up the Oakeshott Institute, and you'll find all of the public models immediately available there.
How many have you got through? Because I know you have quite a large collection.
2 dozen or so, and we've got some pieces that we're trying to explore what we can do with interactivity-wise to be able to kind of increase people's the amount of information that you gain from interacting with it.
Awesome. I'm sure we all appreciate that very much out there.
Oh yes, and I've been in touch with other institutions that I can't speak a lot of specifics about, but hopefully we'll be seeing similar things from other museums and collections in the near future.
Something that no one thought of before. All they ever had before was sketches like Roland.
We just need someone to
Yeah, because
really
these are steel. No,
take the
I could
reins
do
and
it too.
just
I could take that. And
True, that's what I'm saying. We ought to utilize the technology that we have available now that wasn't available prior
my
to.
theory.
Yep.
Before you mostly had sketches and schematics and
And the 3D modeling is
Specs.
Just by using it,
also
they
used
have
for
bent it.
like topographical studies and for farming or architecture. But now being able to utilize it for historically important artifacts is also
Right,
a
but
really
they
big
would just
deal.
take it.
that would be.
Of historical significance.
It would really be something when everyone can get the information and see it in proper form.
In the bottom of the pommel, and you do that. And also there's one.
I was gonna say, I walked out and it's very different.
How many people do we have out there watching right now? Oh, we have 7?
Then you can see that
Yeah.
super accurate.
I love the workshop here.
Thrand.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, hold on. I mean, it's not.
You got a suit of armor that they're working on back here, or that they just have, some that's just part of their collection.
Have you seen the one from Dublin?
Century.
No, it's the one custom.
Lots of sword blanks and swords that they're working on in the back.
A whole variety, different tons and tons of tons.
Lots of pieces, and I see axe heads and
Spec'd
all
on,
sorts of
no
things.
deviation whatsoever, very pristine. Other ones are, just twisted and yeah, you got it.
now it's 8. I think we got 8.
So I have also seen a couple where there's
We got Octa, 8.
no twist at all, and then that's usually those that have very huge.
I'll just kind of wander around because I guess it's boring while they're going through their. Most people don't see the actual workshop itself inside. They just see what that they offer online, and you can go online and look up Arms and Armor. You can see all the swords and armor that they offer. But today we're actually getting to see the actual workshop where it's all constructed and how it's made. Well, I guess they're not actually forging at the moment. Oh, you want one of everything. Yeah, so do I. I was saying, do they give out free samples or gifts when you come in? But apparently not. Roland said that we would get in trouble if we tried to just pick up what we want and walk out with it real quick. I thought about it. I figured a nice little friendly raid would. He said that they probably have more arms and armor than we have available. Beautiful breastplate they're working on here. Sorry, I want to get a good look at this. I know this is a modern breastplate. Looks like it's very well made. Trying to give the highlights here as I walk around. If you want to see something, a certain direction you saw something, you want me to turn, let me know. I'm trying to interact with people. There's only 8. but I'll still try to like just look around the shop. And you can see me. I'm in a mirror. Oh, Roland's sheath is beautiful. I don't know if anybody saw that the other day when I was holding it up. But the way he's done his Viking Age sheath, and then of course his other sheath, and the way he actually straps it to wear it is awesome. This is one of the axes that Arthur was working on a handle for because this one's kind of damaged. You'll see us sparring. We actually use this axe. It is a training axe, like a blunt. Just walking around and looking. We're not taking anything, even though all my fans want us to send them something from the shop. Everybody out there watching is like, wow, we love Arms and Armour, we want something. Oh yeah, the dang pommels. The pommels are the worst thing possible. Oh, and the assault daggers as well. We got them here. Y'all want to see assault daggers? We've got assault daggers. Beautiful daggers. I love the way they look. Some roundels or rondels, however you want to pronounce it. And I know that they have, because last time me and Roland were here, we were actually looking at some bullocks daggers or dirks. There's a bullocks dagger right there. Nice spear points. These look like the same ones Roland and I used to pierce the mail with. And get a good look at them. I'm holding the camera and trying to hold it steady, so I would pick this stuff up because they will let me do that. But then I would probably be shaking it way more and it would look way worse. All the fittings for the swords, and looks like there's some buckles up here and stuff. I love the dagger designs that are nothing more than just to pierce people in openings in the plate, the gaps in the through the voider possibly into the person. Amazing how they don't really care much about fencing anymore, and the quillions get smaller, and it turns into just a nice way to stick the man. Nice axe head, looks like a large Dane axe. Swing us on camera to see what happens. Oh, I'll pick that up. Why not? Okay, we've got the first-person Doom perspective here. We'll walk around. Of course, I'm left-handed. Not that I am. Walk around and start swinging this at people and see what happens. Nah, probably a bad idea. It's beautiful, though. You can see the front, how it's made so it actually bites and hopefully doesn't skip off the plate and actually has a bit of a spike to the actual hammer. I think this could cause some damage. I'd love to test one of these. Now let's see what we have here. Oh, nice. Now that looks like that's an Ux that Thrand would use, correct? Thrand would be using this, you think? I like axes that have a nice point. It's one-handed. No, I think the handle could be a hair longer. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's quite nice. It's about the right length, but I mean, you could probably have an extra hand or so to it to get a little more length. It's still not that heavy. Only with my left hand. So you see the actual profile to it. It's very thin. So I said, there's not much weight. And beautiful handle.
Some bog and some bloomery iron.
I've got Arthur here. Say hi. How are you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Or just because for our smiths, Roland did not want me to show as many those. Yeah, because in
Hopefully they're working all these features out today, how they're going to do this.
Because you have like left-handers and right-handers. So you need a bigger database. All the material that I have looked at so far suggests that it's intentional.
Yeah, and intentional, or the use of the piece creates.
That's what people ask me. As you say, you can actually twist it into this
I don't know. I mean, with my modern training sword, I like my problems with the Type 14 fencing sword is actually slightly facing in the wrong direction, so it's actually left-handed sword. That one never moved.
No, and a lot of the modern ones won't because of the structure.
Hopefully everything is going to work out with that deal, because it would be nice to them to actually do that, and I think it was their idea, so they asked Roland to come here to do this. Very true, very true. Some daggers are more combat ready than others. I don't know if this is finished. Watch it fall apart when I pick it up, but nice flanged or flanged mace. I like this. We've never tested anything like this on the channel. I'd love to test something like this on some actual plate. It'd be fun to see what it actually did, especially the breastplate that I use the longbow on. I think this would be excellent. I like the weight. It's got a really nice weight. Is there a cutlass in the shop? I shall ask. We had a request. Is there a cutlass anywhere here?
I don't have a cutlass, but I have a Dussac, which is really close. I'll pull that out.
Would you like to see that? I guess we'll follow. I'm interacting with people while we're doing this, so kind of keep it a little less boring. It'll probably still be boring for people watching it later. Who aren't interacting with us at the time. But that'll teach them for not being here, right?
So here, we'll pull it out in the light.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me get out where we have more light.
Yeah. It's not perfect yet. There's a lot of work going on in it, but this is a late 1500s.
I'm trying to get the full blade in view. It is a long blade.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a one-handed sword, and it is huge.
You have one-handed sword, thumb ring, built into balance in your cut, shell for protection, incredibly flexible blade.
Wow! Did you guys see that?
That is...
So I take it it's not super heavy though for the length. It's not very heavy for the length.
No, not at all. In fact, I mean, the blade itself is pretty paper thin towards the tip.
Would the historical version be as flexible?
Yes.
Can I hold it?
It's a later period, so they had reasonable quality steel. Their steel may have taken a set doing that. I'm using a modern spring steel, which prevents any real
So if you went too far with theirs, it might have stayed.
But I've been able to handle originals that have
The good flex.
Similar blade profile, real thin tips. There's historical portraits of people leaning on their swords and the blade bowing like that. So
I was just trying to get a feel for how it feels when you cut with it.
Yeah, the blade only weighs about 600 grams. The hilt means about 100 more grams out of it. And of course, it's not done yet.
Very wieldy, and I like, since it's later century, the protection of the hand.
Absolutely.
Because that was the thing that became more and more prominent, is when they stopped using any kind of shields at all.
Oh, absolutely.
And went to unarmored combat with just swords. And the swords could hold up to that type of sword play.
You gotta put
that
it
the
on.
hand had to be protected unless you had something to protect your hand with. So everyone loved the swept hilts and
Swept
the
hilts,
basket hilts.
shells.
And
I mean, that is a quintessential field sword. I mean, that is something you'd use.
so what is the exact hilt here considered?
It's a swept hilt with a protective shell. It's a derivative of the Dussac kind of family. You could also consider this a hanger. It's a little long for a cutlass.
Yeah.
Cutlasses tend to have naval connotations. This one's long enough where you'd be using it from horseback or on the field.
Yeah, I feel bad. I wasn't sitting here looking at you while you're talking about it. I'm sure they
it's
can
fine.
hear
I mean,
you,
the sword
but
is the pretty part.
yeah.
So that bar that's hanging out in space is going to be the thumb ring.
Right.
That will be worked down into the block.
Oh, I am so sorry.
The thumb ring will be
Hand
worked
ring
down
will
into
work
the
here.
block, mounted, so then that allows you to control your edge as you're in a cut. Allows you pulling, so it gives you really good control.
They want to know if it's 16th century or late 15th.
It would be mid 16th century.
Mid 16th century. It feels really good in the hand. I love it. Did you make this one
Yeah,
yourself?
this is all me, all hand forged.
Awesome.
So everything's forged. Made the pommel.
Does it have much of an edge? I didn't check the edge.
No.
Not yet.
Not sharp yet. You could still open someone up, but right now it's still, I need to do some tweaking and finishing on the blade. I need to root the knuckle bow. Knuckle bow is going to be upset and punched and actually key into the pommel. Again, thumb ring gets mounted there. I need to take more weight out of the shell. Bam, the sweep and the knuckle bow are all hand forged.
There is so much to it, though, that most people don't understand. If you're really a craftsman that's making a sword
Oh yeah, no, it's
and making it to be used, you don't just throw it together and go, "Here's a blade, carry this heavy crowbar around. It's got an edge on it." Yeah.
I mean, I've worked here and been doing this for 8 years professionally. So, I mean, there's a lot of my time.
Did you introduce yourself yet? I couldn't
I
remember.
have not. I'm Joe Marcello. I'm head of Blade Productions here at Arms and Armour. And I have a lot of different projects and interests that I work on in the off season. So it's one of my personal pieces that I'm doing. Not quite an Arms and Armour production piece, but so I do lots of sword blades as my day job.
Awesome, thanks. It was an excellent presentation, and we love your blade. I think that satisfied him since we didn't have an actual cutlass. That was good, correct?
Yeah.
Taragota, yeah.
I mean, we have actually, something. This is also in that same family. This is a hanger blade, obviously in the same kind of family, but very different
yeah.
swords.
You would have envy of the other sword there holding out.
Was he on a ship though?
That's more of a cutlass style blade.
Yeah, you want something small, maneuverable, because you're in close quarters. Again, this Tang would be a good field sword.
They're saying they never saw a sword flex like that before.
Yeah, so this is all heat treated by me. That was my goal for this sword. With custom projects, I tend to have an area that I want to focus on. And the flexibility of this, because if you see, there's portraits of men standing with their sword like so.
And their hands in that height.
Yep.
So that's how you know that.
Yeah, you can see the blade just bowed out.
I would back up, but that's the problem when you're doing something like this.
That was kind of my focus. Was I wanted the sword to replicate that.
Oh, see that's what we're trying to show is that bend. He's standing there with a sword with a bend in it, and he's saying there's actually pictures or depictions of that. Somebody standing.
Especially like
Were they depictions or actually they're
depictions?
depictions, not actual pictures. I want to make sure I specify that this is not that late a century
Yeah,
blade.
this is not that late. There's portraits of people with back swords, generally like this, that have stuff. And a back sword just refers to the fact that it has
A spine, yes. And most people don't know that. I've had people honestly believe that the edge was on the back, and you're like, no, it's like a sykes or sax.
Exactly.
The back of the blade is wider, and it tapers to an edge. Now, it can be a single bevel, but generally in Europe, even if it was a single bevel, it would eventually turn into a double because it had to be resharpened.
Oh yeah, same thing with this. I mean, this is single-edged up till here, where that is also a back edge, which allows you to deliver back edge cuts.
Very nice. So from the tip, you could actually get some very nice cuts if you have to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this, when it's fully sharp.
Like a lot of sabers do have that.
Absolutely.
Later century sabers have the back edge at the tip.
It's in the same category.
That's where you get the term short edge, correct? Because it was not the full length of the back, because it was a back sword.
Absolutely.
Yeah, from what we figured,
That's that in a nutshell. I have a bunch of other swords randomly sitting around, but this is the only one that's this close to being done. So, but
Awesome. Very awesome. I'd love to test some of your actual blades one day. If you can ever work it out with, it escapes me at the moment. I was trying to think of his name, and I know his name. Christopher Poor.
Oh, yeah.
I did an interview with him last time. He actually showed us his collection and everything. Said if he would be inclined to ever let me try something that you all would like me to demonstrate, I would love to test something on
Yeah,
some
and I
armor.
mean, this being one of my personal pieces, I could also just send it to you and cut with it. So,
Oh, that would be awesome.
yeah, I'm not gonna sell this piece until I've cut with it, because this one's gonna be really fun.
Actually do some cutting with it and then ship it back to you or something. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it would hold up well. I don't think if you did some nice cutting materials, I don't think it would do any damage to it.
Absolutely. I mean, this-
Because that would definitely be for flesh and bone.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely want to try this on tatami. I want to try it on some other things. So, maybe some pumpkins or two, because it's the season about now. So, yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh, definitely. It was an excellent
Was
interview.
there a color that you went to and fitted everything? Or was there a sword shop and you went and bought a sword that was done? You know? And if you had any jing, you could do what you wanted. But that's the element of.
They want to know if y'all have any plan to make Brunweir. Is there a sword named Brunweir or Houseweir?
I'm sorry?
Is there a sword named Houseweir or Brunweir? I lost the comment. So, correct. I'm going to see. Right there. House.
I don't know.
Is it from the Ewart Oakeshott collection? That's the question, guys. If it's from the Ewart Oakeshott collection, they do have a lot of blades here, but they don't reproduce all of them.
I can't really hear you.
I said you have a lot of blades in the Ewart Oakeshott collection, but you don't reproduce every single one of them.
No,
Only
we
specific
do.
ones that you have request for.
That's right. We do
And they're
a
not
few.
exacts, right? Exact.
It depends. It depends on how much detail people want. So, like our Oakeshott sword, so wire wrapped grip, we do it quite close to the original, but usually we don't hollow grind the blade
Oh,
unless
okay.
someone specifically requests it because it jacks the price $600 to hand grind,
yeah.
which we actually have one right over here.
Oh, the guy just now said the axe gives him a chubby that you're carrying. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think it does me too, so you might be scared.
They're very, very.
So this
Wow.
one is,
Let me get back, because some of this stuff you got to see the full length. And then we'll get close and get a good look at it.
yeah.
Which blade is this one?
So this is our Oakeshott sword. So this is one that's in the Oakeshott Institute collection. And
It's beautiful. This is a replica of it.
yeah, this is a replica.
Everything out here would be correct. This is the
Yeah,
pretty
everything.
much. This is
all
the
of our production
room.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. What century is it? And
This one, I believe it's 14th century.
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say somewhere around late 13th,
Yep.
early
And the
14th or
grip,
something.
Oakeshott thought the grip was maybe a bit later than the blade, so it allegedly came out of a tomb during the 19th century, unearthed during an artillery bombardment.
It's beautiful, the design, though. I love how the hilt has the bands that go right into the pommel.
Right.
And the bands look like they continue etched in the pommel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's got a nice disc pommel. Or it's kind of more of it's a disc, but it's more of
a flattened disc.
Right.
Yeah. But this hologram blade, to grind this by hand on a wheel.
Let's look at it so they can see what we're saying. A hollow ground blade. In other words, the spine is thicker, and then it has a concave grind to make the edge even more acute, correct?
That's right. Yep. But it's super hard to get this grind.
Oh, it's beautiful, though. I bet it gives it an excellent balance.
It does.
Could I hold it for a second?
You sure can.
I don't know if it does anything for them to see me hold it, but it weighs, as long as this blade is, the reach you have with it one-handed is an arming sword, and you can see the length. I don't know if they can see the length of me doing something like this. That kind of gives you an idea, if you've ever put a sword like this, to kind of compare the length. It goes over to my other foot. Because you can kind of go by if you stand at a shoulder width stance and put your blade down, it goes all the way over to past my main toe. Me holding it to the side, I would say, yeah, this is a long blade. What's the length of it?
I'd have to look, but it's somewhere around 34, 35 inches.
35 inches?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right at exactly 3 feet. The blade, 3 feet long. It's as long as a rapier.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Especially an early one.
but the cutting ability, because it's broad, and then it being having so much distal taper and a little bit of profile taper, it's still not that thin towards the point. It feels great. It has like a perfect balance. I mean, you could use this all day long, not get tired.
Yeah, this thing cuts like a laser.
I know, I'm sitting here going, wow. You can see that if some people would say it's a little wobbly, but that's not really bad. If you control your edge alignment right, it's going to cut clean through anything.
Yeah. Like, it depends on who you were trying to kill. How stiff you want your blade.
Oh yeah, give me a like. Thank you guys. They're saying give me a like out there. And that hollow ground blade, I'm sorry, I have not tested any hollow ground blades of this type. No.
Yeah.
There'll be something to test one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see what the cutting's different. Because diamond shaped blades I've tested, but they're different. You know.
Sure. Yep. It'll definitely impact.
Definitely, it was to lighten it and make the edge more acute. Mm-hmm. And with that length, that would definitely give you an advantage over somebody if their sword was long but heavy.
Oh, for sure.
You would have more control.
Yeah, which I love.
And of course, then some people would argue lacking cutting, but I don't necessarily think that's true. I mean, it can, but
No, I think it will slice beautifully.
definitely.
This isn't a sword for chopping.
Right.
It's a slicing.
Right. Beautiful blade.
Oh, thanks.
Anything else here that's unique that would be good to focus on? I like the Viking sword. I was just bringing that up here. You can see one that hasn't been peened yet. That's the way your swords are supposed to be made. Now, sometimes the peen will be underneath the back, and the back is a cap that's riveted on. In this case, it's probably solid, and that goes clean through.
It is.
Which is actually a strong construction.
It is. Yeah,
It's still a strong
really
construction.
well.
It's made proper. I love the Tang, though. A lot of people don't realize it does taper down, so it can go through the actual pummel, but the Tangs are perfect. They're
Right.
full Tangs.
Exactly. And Tangs don't have to be giant, fat around.
No.
things
You can tell people
on
that if
point,
you...
right. So a Tang doesn't have to be super fat when it comes out the end of the pommel. Right. So you can have a thin Tang like this where it's emerging from the pommel with a consistent taper.
And another thing you could probably comment on, you don't want the Tang super hardened either, right?
No.
There are
you
companies
don't.
that have done that, and they even make fencing equipment, and what happens?
Yeah, it'll break.
Yeah.
Right.
I've even had some blades that have sent to me where the Tang breaks.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, and I was
So
just
we
like, I didn't get a chance
differentiate.
to show a video. It just broke, and I had to tell people, look, I'm kind of scared to play with your blades now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say who, but I can't play with the sword anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh, totally.
That scared me. Razor sharp edges, I sharpened it, and then I hit some stuff. And,
Yeah, a broken sword's a scary thing.
yeah, I know you make the highest quality though here. That's what I say. I knew you would know. And how could you even peen it if it was not soft in the very back? The very end of the tank.
So some places use like an air hardening steel or something like that, really modern steels that you can't keep soft very readily, which I think is not a good idea.
No, it would not be. It would be like terrible. I could just see that.
Yeah, totally.
Beautiful blades. Oh, do you have any actual rapiers that are of length, or that aren't small swords? Or?
They're completed.
Right, but full length.
I'm not sure if we have any.
Really long rapiers. Or
I mean, that's not one of ours. Well, in the Oakeshott room, there's some originals.
oh, original. What is this one over here? I was just curious.
I don't think this is a sword.
Of your manufacturer.
I don't think so.
It's pretty though. I kind of like it. Did they actually have any with holes to the blade?
Yeah. Yep. They're definitely pierced rapier blades. It's
That-
just decorative.
I can see that, but it's still beautiful. So this is actually based on.
Boy, this one, I don't know. This
It
is
could just be
here for a
somebody's
very long
artistic
time.
creation that
Right.
got created here, and they put it to one side.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the length on the blade? That's what I was asking.
This is pretty long. It must be 40 inches.
Right, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to find a blade like this. It may not be totally historical, but
Yeah, some were super long. Like that.
I could see it be plausible.
Yeah. For sure. You know, it's just like in Seven Samurai when that one samurai had the super
You've
long
got the
katana.
length, though, with the blade that it would be. Can you picture how far you could reach out and get somebody with this? Let's go back with our theory here of me holding it at my side. And, yeah.
They also have that.
Yeah, shoulder width apart, hand at the side. I don't know if you can see it. And that's me trying to be nice with it, and it is way longer than the other blade. I can see how, was it Queen Elizabeth that said that they had to change the length of their blade because too many people were getting in duels because they were walking into people with them, and that would cause a duel because I would be walking by and not be able to control the length of my blade, and boom.
Damn it! I demand satisfaction.
Oh yeah, most certainly. I could see why it became. What did it become, like 36 inches or like 3 foot or
I'm not
something
sure.
like that?
Probably. Yeah.
You know, that was the maximum length you could actually carry around the city.
Yeah. Well, they were getting very long for a while.
They called it the liver piercer. I would definitely say that's a good name for this one.
Yes. Yes.
I like it. It's a
think
beautiful
so.
blade. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's okay. It's, you know, it looks like it's just one that one of our guys was just messing around with.
Right, but the weight of
Experimenting
it,
at some
because the
point.
blade's so long and it's still pretty stiff.
Oh, yeah.
It still feels as heavy as a cutting blade.
It
But
is.
it's not designed to.
Right.
You could still cut with it, but I mean, it's not designed
Oh,
to
yeah.
be a pure
A lot of
cut.
rapiers are relatively heavy.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at the reach you get with that. I can see somebody reaching out there for. I mean, it's like a spear.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like a pole arm. The reach you get on it,
Yep.
but it still feels good in the hand. I love
Totally.
it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, hopefully this will get more attention to you all guys here as well, and people want to look at your catalog and stuff we've got.
Exactly. We have a brand new website.
Most shops won't let you do this either, just come in around, so I appreciate that.
Sure. Oh, no problem. You're welcome.
Oh, you got a bell there, but that's more of a...
That's a sword that that's from a different maker, and someone asked to alter it.
And you will do that. That's something Arms and Armor will do.
We will do it occasionally. It's easier for when people are local, because usually the labor plus the shipping means it costs more than the sword cost, right? Especially for less expensive blades, but we will occasionally do it when people ask.
Okay. Somebody's saying something. I'm trying to read what y'all say. I'm sorry, guys, but it only pops up for a few minutes. And of course, everybody's broke off into conversation and taking care of business. Of course, Roland is basically taking care of business. So that's why I've been trying not to bother them. And I'm sure they're sitting over there going, Thrand is a nutcase and he films everything everywhere he goes. But I figured y'all want to see what I'm seeing and actually get to be here too, so to speak. And yes, I could make it a video and edit it out and all that good stuff. But yeah, it would be the same as just walking through the shop and looking at the candy store. I'll go back and look at these blades one more time. I'm just working on some material for something over here. And yes, these are all handcrafted. As you can see, there's nothing in this shop where it could be mass produced or pressed or stamped out. Or beautiful swords. Anything you want to see, let me know. I'll ask the craftsman here. We probably might look at something at the Ewart Oakeshott Institute. I don't know what they have planned today or how much time we have. But as I promised, I would come here and go through and look at everything a little better. I figure the live feed even from my phone is good. I'm going to get some good video too on all our main cameras. I brought 2 good cameras with me. Ooh, nice. I will ask them quickly, but I wanted to pick up one of these. Decticarbon? That is nice. And notice the square handle, so you have control and you know which direction the actual head's facing. So you can utilize all these can openers and meat tools and meat tenderizers and spear point. Yes, it's very gruesome. You get to see it in 3D here, and I can assure you this is good steel. I can tell by feeling. Let me ask about the lost wax casting. I had a strange question for you. They want to know if you do the lost wax casting on any of the
we do
sword pieces. The
we absolutely do.
And the Polearms and so on.
Yeah, so many of our production pommels and crosses are produced through a lost wax process. Yeah, so we make latex or aluminum molds, and then we make waxes, build the trees, and then take it to a foundry where we have them pour it. But a lot of our pieces...
Sorry about me adjusting the camera.
Many of our pieces were molded from period originals, right? So like our High Gothic mace, we went to the Wallace collection, they let us make a latex mold of the original mace that's there. So then we cast the head of it and then fabricate out the rest of the piece.
Oh, awesome. Very awesome. It makes it even better that you know that the mold actually touched the original that you made it from.
Right. And then it has the same asymmetries.
They said you have an awesome beard, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And they also said they love this guy.
Oh, good.
Said they like this guy.
Yeah, so my name's Nathan Clough. I'm the vice president of Arms and Armor.
And he has a great presence on video, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But what I was going to ask about these here.
Sure.
Is this a Decticarbon or?
Yep, it's Decticarbon. Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't wrong. Okay.
No, that's it.
And I love the handle.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some reproductions where they try to make this rounded stuff, and you're like, how could you utilize that in combat?
Right.
And even with gauntlets on and stuff, and know where these heads are pointing.
Absolutely.
And some people might go, well, the way this is made, you wouldn't need to know. You would need to know.
Oh, yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we hand select all of our ash, and with the emerald ash borer, it's a bug that's killing ash trees. The city of Minneapolis, where we are, is taking down tens of thousands of mature ash trees.
So, so you use real ash.
Yeah, so we're working with a company that's salvaging and cutting some of
I was
this
just getting you to hold it up for a second.
100-year-old ash.
So it's excellent. It's the real
nice
deal.
ash.
You're getting the real wood.
Yeah, it's the best ash you can get.
And it's not new wood, it's old wood.
It's old wood. Right. Yeah.
Like they would have been able to cut back in the day.
Right, exactly.
Which nowadays, a lot of times they limit what people can cut because of the circumstances with different trees, you don't want to kill trees, but in this case, they're going down anyway, so you might as well use it.
A lot of it comes from tree farms now, where the trees they grow very fast, so the grain's not very tight.
So it's much weaker, the wood.
Right, so this is a lot better wood.
It's going to hold up really well. You can tell you can feel how the wood, feels like iron or something. What I'm saying, I don't know how to explain it, but it has
It's a nice, hard,
it's dense.
wood. It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It feels different than just, it's not heavy,
No.
but it's heavier than you would expect.
Right. It's
More
one of the nice
densely
things
grown.
about ash. It's strong, it's a little flexible, it doesn't just splinter. It's a good durable wood for this kind of use. Historical, it's what they used primarily.
Have you tested one of these on a breastplate yet?
People have, and we've done it a little bit occasionally. And so often with these, you wouldn't just swing it straight out like a giant hammer, right?
Well, of course not.
It's a spear, right? In a lot of ways, you can pull someone off a horse and you can smash them.
Right.
But, yeah, we have some breastplates.
Normally, did they not use it more as a weapon to unbalance the guy, trip him, and control him, and stab for, just like you would in half swording, you'd stab for the gaps
Right.
and where the voiders would be, and so on, trying to get through it with something like this. And then if you did get him on the ground, that's usually when you would start pounding him, because he was laying flat on the ground, and even if he had a hardened breastplate, that breastplate will actually give way and actually make a concussion to the body, even if it's it's like one of those spring bowls or something where you have what are they? I'm trying to think of whether they're tempered steel bowls or whatever.
Sure.
You can kind of pop a dent in them, they pop right back out.
Right.
I've heard that the actual plate would bend in and snap back, and you couldn't even tell the guy had been hit, but
Sure.
he'd be severely wounded. Yeah.
Yeah, and really, if you're in armor getting hit with this, it's like being in a car accident.
Right, so even if it didn't just deform the armor enough to damage something, the impact would make you not want to fight anymore.
Right, you're going to be concussed, you're going to be in shock, and if you were in armor and you were actually fighting a war, it meant you were probably a pretty rich guy, and so they didn't want to wreck your armor and kill you usually. They wanted to catch you, steal your armor, and ransom you back to your family. So,
Most certainly.
Right? Yeah.
So the good thing is this thing would pretty much cause that effect.
absolutely.
You might have whiplash and
Yeah.
maybe a torn ligament or something, some pain like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And you may very well get
Lots of mead and wine could take care of that,
exactly.
and then they could ransom you back.
Totally. Yeah. You're gonna need the jaws of life to get you out of that.
The armor when they got done. Hey, and not all armor was hardened too. That's a myth too, right?
Oh, right. Most
Some late
wasn't.
century was, some wasn't.
Right. Yeah. Historically, most.
And it was all
armor
different.
wasn't.
It was all different gauges of thicknesses as well.
Exactly.
It was thicker where it needed to be, thinner where it.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize this. They think it was just like sheet metal nowadays, shaped into the form.
Sure. No.
And that's not the way it was
It
meant.
totally varied. Especially because they didn't start out with a sheet of metal. They
Right.
started with a chunk.
It was a bloomery iron piece, and then they had to make that into something that was steel-like, and then try to
Exactly.
If it was hardened, it had to be made more perfect and then hardened.
Right.
And they didn't make it temper it to the degree that it was super glass-like.
Yeah.
They hardened it and then annealed it slightly, right?
Sure. Right.
Right. So you get the best of both worlds. You get some, just like a lot of knife makers do that as well nowadays.
Right. Absolutely.
They'll go to a pure, like back in the day where people just quench it and they'd leave it at that, but then they'll heat it back up slightly and then let it cool.
Right. Or like we slack quench these. So these Dane axes have a mild steel socket and a carbon steel blade, but we just heat just the edge of it and then quench just that in oil and then pull it. So this remains hot and the temper moves back across.
So the edge is hardened, but the rest of it's soft. Like
Exactly.
instead of actually forging a harder piece of iron into it,
Right.
into a softer iron
Right.
backing like had been done, you're getting the same effect with modern steels.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because of course you're not going to work with that type of material; it'd be too difficult.
Right, and that's how this can be $350 instead of $1,500.
Gonna have to forge weld an edge in, having to make the socket either by cutting a hole through it or folding the metal and forge welding it together.
Totally. So we try and get the same effect. Which,
Beautiful, beautiful axe.
Oh, they cut great.
Do you know what type axe that one is?
This is a Dane axe, a Type M.
Type M. That's what I was
Yep.
thinking.
Yep.
Beautiful axe.
Thank you.
I figured it was in, but I didn't want to
Yep.
put my foot in my mouth. My
Nope,
foot
it's
in.
him. Oh. You like that halberd?
Oh, it's beautiful. Author has come up with something that you all might like. Sorry for this extremely long video.
This is basically space age technology as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, totally.
Space age technology, he says.
Yeah, 1,000 or 600.
I love the halberd. Look at the reach he has with that. How heavy is it? Is it wieldable?
Yeah, probably weighs 8.
And it's made of ash as well, right?
It's
The handle.
ash. Yep.
I feel like this would be better for exercising.
They're saying that thing looks crazy. Let's get a good look at it. It's beautiful. They make some really nice polearms, and people overlook polearms and how effective and how utilized they were since the beginning of history.
So the head on that, we
Spears were the first polearms, and this is the evolution.
owns
Of course, it still had spears.
copy that. But yeah, the grips on those. I mean, when you fought with them, all about the core.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine.
They're pretty cool. So Roger Norling over in Sweden taught some halberd fighting workshops 2 years ago here.
So most of the halberd fighting comes to the body, you're saying?
Yeah, you
It's-
don't just swing it. With
Right, it's more
arms.
like using a staff that has
It's exactly
a
like a
deadly head on it. Yeah.
Yep. In fact, Meyer's halberd system is the same as his predecessor.
And there's the good old yacht there, spear. This looks like an earlier period version. Do you know what type of spear it is?
Oh, this one?
It's deceiving on spears. People.
Oh,
use-
this is Greek.
That's what I was saying. That looks like what's going to be sent to me.
Yeah.
I have one from Paul Bardunius. I'm going to put this back where it goes. Let me put it back properly, because then they won't be able to find it, and then they won't let Thrand come back and play anymore. And that means y'all can't come in with it. So keep that.
Yeah, a friend of ours of the shop is participating in the 2,500 year anniversary of the Battle of Thermopylae.
This is a real Dory or Doru. When I said early period, that's what I was thinking when I said that. I meant way early period, not Viking Age, because I consider that my period.
Yeah.
But it's got a serrator on it. It's actual bronze.
Yep.
Bronze serrator, lizard sticker. They've got a hand wrap, and then
And that one's a hand forged.
you could tell by the actual head that it almost goes back to some of the bronze shapes, that it looks like an early iron head, and a nice leaf-shaped design. I think that'd be great for armor piercing. Beautiful, beautiful.
It makes
They said you're wiping the prints off that thing.
right.
Naturally, I got to pick it up here and play with it a little bit because it's fun. Just don't want anybody walking behind me and having a problem. Yeah, I think this would do the trick. Yeah, and I'm pulling back this way in case I had somebody behind.
That's okay.
The old J technique, yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe an inch and a half longer.
And we'll go through this breastplate. Woo. Yeah, I think that would have made it. All right. No, enough fun here. We can't have too much fun. Then we'll get kicked out. Was it inside here, sir? Okay, make sure I get it back in right. And this is a javelin? This is a javelin head, like a leaf-shaped javelin?
Stain color? No, it's no stain. Okay. Leave it like this? Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, spearing the guy behind you. I was doing a J shape, so he walked right behind me easily. In other words, the spear was coming back and up and then forward in this kind of motion, so he was fine walking back. He's only missing an eye. I'm not going to show him on the video again. It's all right. He didn't even quit. No, but I've been having a good time here. Everybody, I've got like a bunch of people watching now, and they're all having a good time and asking questions, and I ask for them. So it's working good. How many javelins can be held in one hand? I don't know how many javelins they got here. I try to see how many I could hold in one hand. This is for somebody. It's for Ernesto. So if you're out there and watching our video and you know your javelin is ready,
Oh, you can come in.
Come
we
and
can do
get
it
it?
right now if you want.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm in your way. Nice Viking shield up here, but it looks like it's a plywood base. It's just I think they're actually showing off the actual umbo. And you can see how deep that is. Beautiful. But is it a Viking Age boss, per se? It might be earlier periods. Hard to tell what they were trying to go for. Anyway, we have been doing this a while, so I may have to get off, and I'm sorry. So it looks like they're around. Oh, we might be able to find the javelin. Question out here. How many javelins can you hold in one hand? To actually hold it, I've got 3 right here. Now, if I was trying to hold an actual something, if I can find something the size of the back of a Skilder, that would be great. But it would be hard to hold too many. And I just put my hand into a razor sharp blade, but didn't get cuts, so I'm happy, or at least not enough to bleed much. I can hold 4 here. If you're just talking about how many javelins you can hold, I got 4. Let's go for another one. This is putting it a bit of a stretch, but I say with the 3, you could maybe hold them behind the shield. But as you start getting up to how many we got here, 5, it's getting a little ridiculous. I will grab one more. Let's see if I can even hold it. I don't think I can. I'm going to say 5 is the most. I don't know what size these shafts are, but I'm holding 5 pretty easily. If you were just going to hold them in your hand and that's it, just have these and throw them. I've got 5 holding. If you're talking about holding them in your offhand, it'd be thrown. So I'm holding 5 of these. I believe they're ash or oak. It's hard to tell. I'd have to ask them about it. These are some really nice javelins. And as you can see, the shape, the diamond shape would be great for trying to open up rings in mail, possibly, but I don't know if they would have the power because they are kind of small. They might. Right, but I can hold 5, so, what is it, 5? What did I say, 5? Yeah, 5 pretty easily in one hand. And I would say at least 3 behind a shield, possibly, but I don't know how bad that would get into me. And they have the other ones over here hidden away. The leaf shape. These look more like something I would think they'd have in the Viking Age if I actually show it to you. So I don't have anybody in the view, so it's probably a terrible video. We have found some small puny spears that they believe are javelins that are something like this. I was going to talk to Roland and Arthur about that, what they think about javelins in combat. Which sword would you like to look at? The one I almost cut my hand off with, maybe. Now, this sword is huge. And I would say it has an edge on it. We can do our thing here and hold it to one side, see how long this one is. This sword, this long sword, trumps the rapier. You can see right here, I'm going to hold the camera in front of me, and the pommel comes to, let's do this one, comes to the head right here. So this one is a tall sword. This is sticking right between my legs, standing about a shoulder width apart, and yeah, we've got it right here. And let's go ahead and flip it back around. Kind of hard to show that way. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the video, and I'm gonna have to put this up. And yes, this does have some heft to it. This would be one heck of a cutter, and yeah, I would love to test it, but I've got to get the tag back on it because I think it actually has somebody it's meant for, and I just knocked the tag off. So if you don't get the sword, please don't come for me with it. When you finally do get it, I'll have to get the tag back on. Give me a second. Yep, it says it's a European greatsword, and the price, it didn't say it's per person, is $2,100 on that one. So I can imagine with that much work, then that makes a lot of sense. So they have some of these priced right here that we're looking at. Ooh, nice blade. Very beautiful blade. Very well balanced, and it's not a hollow ground. It's just a diamond cross section. Lots of taper. It's hard to see this. They put this stuff up. This is probably getting boring in the position I'm in. I'm realizing that right now. So there's nobody else to talk to, and I'm standing here looking at blades that I can see better than you can.
No, I think that's good.
It's that axe.
Also, I think I'll send you guys some
of the wood finish that I use in case I order more stuff. I really
Oh, the axe. Yorks is good,
Oh,
yeah.
that's fine, yeah. What do you put on?
because I end up having to.
Meekly Yorks, yeah. On the axe.
Well, it won't sting and stuff, yeah.
Yes, it is a dansk oaks or a Dane axe.
But the thing is like ash is so beautiful. Such a pretty wood. There's a lot of pretty wood you guys use. And then you cover it with that modern stuff.
It's all about making
Oh, looks like they're actually looking at the. I was trying to show them your actual
Because one
beauty
thing,
of your.
one thing that you do see with the Carolingian depictions over and over again is that there's like a triangle that goes away, and then you don't really see how it is connected. When I looked at the Polearms, I found it was interesting that there was a distributor ring and a buckle that was supposedly connected directly to the distributor ring.
Oh, it's a very nice
It's
sheath
not
of Scabbard.
super clear
That's
from
true
the publication because Wilson finished it a couple of years after the guy who actually did the excavations did the excavation and was making sense of his notes. But so I tried it out using. It's not exactly the same set as the Polearms ones, but or Polearms, I don't know how they pronounce it. However, this is what I came up with. Is
But you're able to go in and
so you use this as a strap that goes around the body.
So I try to get the full view of Roland so he shows how this works.
Maybe keep up on here before you buckle up. This could, alternatively, this could be like an integral strap slide, sitting in exactly the same position. So when you buckle up, you end up with a suspension method that allows for wearing the suit almost horizontally in front of the body.
I will ask him. Are you asking if it's sinew or for the accent? He wants to know if that's sinew for the accent on it.
No problem. Just move it. Sure.
He's demonstrating how he wears it, carries it, and can remove it easily.
So if I'm on board a ship or there's a crowd, I can easily navigate through the crowd.
I think it might be linen. I'm not sure. I'll look at it closer in a second.
Now this is really cool. Okay, so this is the kind of position that you see in the manuscripts. You'll see a triangle coming up from two suspension points on the Scabbard. I found that if you fence like this, because it's sitting above the hip, it's also a position that you see with the lights or with samurai.
An Irish style axe? Are you talking about here? There's one in the background. There's an Ewart Oakeshott in the background. We need to find it. Yeah, it's got to be something we find.
WMW, so I was fencing and then the sword while fencing.
Oh, he tells you in the video where he made it. Awesome. Yeah, you can always look up Roland's videos as well. Go by dimicator on Facebook, and he has lots of information. He also has a Patreon under dimicator, and also on YouTube. He has YouTube videos he releases regularly.
I think this is a typical way to work early medieval
They want to know what the accents are made on the actual scabbard. What are the accents on it? They want to know what they were. I don't know what they mean by accents. If they're talking about the bottom,
the decoration.
they want to know if it was rawhide, sinew.
Oh, okay. So
I said it looks like linen.
Oh, the scabbard. The scabbard is wood. The scabbard is so the corpus is wood, and the corpus is lined with fur. I don't know if the camera actually captures that.
Lined with fur?
Yeah. So you see the fur lining on the inside. You see that?
Yep. And that will actually retain a little oil too if you put oil on the blade.
And then the whole thing is covered with canvas, so it rubbed off here, so you can actually see the. This is what keeps the wood together. It's the canvas underneath. Yeah. That's it's basically linen. Textile.
Linen canvas.
Yeah, and then this is covered with silk. Okay, could just as well be leather. So what you usually see is that you either.
You said that's silk at the bottom?
No, this is linen again.
Linen again. That's what I thought. That's what I told them earlier. I think it's linen.
This is a very typical way of protecting the point on early medieval medieval scabbard, and you see these fine windings, these bindings around the.
That's to make sure it doesn't split or anything happen to it or come out, correct?
Yeah, well, that's the part that
Reinforcement as well.
Exactly, that's the part that's constantly exposed to.
Getting
whenever
banged
you
into
put the sword on the
things.
ground, so that's where you hit stuff all the time as you walk about.
So that gives a bit of cushioning and helps pull it together and bind it.
It's basically a point protection, and then this band is then wound around the scabbard. That makes for these little X patterns. Interestingly, there's a description of the scabbard of Charlemagne, and it says that his scabbard was consisted of a core of wood lined with fur. Then around the wood was leather, and then on top of that was linen, wax. And the scabbard was strengthened by means of little crosses to destroy the heathens. So what I think these crosses are, because it doesn't say
And I just remember I was
it
in
says
I remember going to
kutsitsulis, so
it's like all
it's
these
like a diminutive of a cross. I think it's
in high
just
school.
these X patterns.
That's awesome.
It's the javelin. That's the one thing
Also,
in my
when
price
it's
range.
an angle, it's not an X anymore. It's actually more like a cross.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that.
So they mention it later century
I
then,
think they
correct?
do have a meaning.
Oh, yeah.
I think they do have a meaning. And then this pattern here.
Rich Stone says he's a heathen though.
Huh?
One of my reviewers says he's a heathen though.
Well,
I've seen it in Viking Age depictions as well, and I know they were heathen when they did it.
What I think is they do have a meaning, and they come from something that's even older. Like there are inlays on swords that have the same shape, and in fact, if you look at this again, here you have this rather slender X shape. You see that in the center? It's like this hourglass shape in the center. So this comes on a number of sword handles, but also as an inlay in.
An author's about to take me out over here, and I'm not even paying attention. No, he's just having fun with the axe. It's his favorite thing, of the great axes. The axes.
We don't quite know.
This is why I chose to extend the X pattern or cross pattern, whatever you want to, or hourglass pattern with these little pins here. Now, little copper alloy pins were found as a decoration on scabbard fragments from Haithabu. So this scabbard is not a true replica of an existing find. It just combines elements of early medieval scabbards that turn up.
So basically, if you lived back then, this is what yours would look like.
That what?
And if you lived back then, that's what yours would look like.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Not like we found
Absolutely.
that specific one.
There you go. Yeah, sure. I would certainly use red fleshy silk with shiny pins.
I like it.
Any
So
oh yeah, and then finally the usually these bindings on the very point of the scabbard, they don't have a scabbard shape.
Yeah.
There's but one depiction from a Carolingian manuscript where you see a scabbard shape on top of a binding. That's what, and because I'm now working with the Haithabu Museum a lot, and so my kit is slowly being updated.
Okay.
This particular find does come from Haithabu. Okay, so
Rich Stone says that if you lived back then, you'd be Kanunga or king.
well, maybe not.
He thinks you'd be a king.
And this is decorated in modern style, which renders it mid to late 10th century. So this is an exact replica of an existing find from Haithabu or Hedebu as it's probably.
So that is an exact replica of the actual.
This one, the shape, yes.
Is it
But-
brass or bronze?
Well, the archaeologists say copper alloy.
Copper alloy, because they don't know exactly.
So how does
Well, both were used, so.
the canvas underneath, is that spiraled or is it one piece that's pulled and sewn underneath?
Okay, so yeah, that's a really interesting question. With mine, that's just one piece.
Okay.
But if you look at Alfred Geibe's book and some of the originals that he looked at, it seems that oftentimes you would have a canvas or a linen cover that consists of little strips that overlap. So there's a recent theory of mine is that these perpendicular strips that we see in period depictions may actually not be a result of the binding going up and down, but rather are like in intervals that would be the strips that actually make up the cover.
Really
and then
cool.
it would be so much easier to actually do the binding because then you just spiral up and spiral down.
Yep.
And then these intervals would be the intervals of the strips that you glue on top of, if it's Carolingian, on top of a leather strip.
Okay, gotcha.
Makes sense.
There's one find from the 19th century that, thanks to the internet, I actually found the publication which dates to 1911, and it does contain one photo of that find, which I tried to track down. I guess it's lost because from France it came to Berlin in the early 20th century, and ever since then a lot of things happened, so a lot of archaeological artifacts are lost, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was true for this one too, because it was a sword in its scabbard, 9th century, probably late 9th century, and that one, telling by the photograph, still had all the textile on top. Okay. So it was broken here, but you could see the various shall we call it compartments, like and you could see remains of the process, and it also had part of the wooden straps like still attached to the top.
That is so cool.
Very beautiful.
That's amazing. So you're saying Carolingian would be leather covered? Is there any difference between region on scabbard coverings?
Well, we have this description from Notker Bambulus, writing in the mid-9th century, I think the 840s, and he says Charlemagne's sword was covered in leather, and then the outer would be
Was linen?
but this linen would be waxed and polished. And if you look at depictions from before 850, all Carolingian scabbards are white.
Okay.
So, and he does state that they use the clearest wax. So when we buy beeswax these days, it's usually yellow.
Yep.
But that's because it has already been used. So you can, so the virgin wax that the beeswax is actually clear. It doesn't have a color.
But it waterproofs it very well and makes it nice and shiny.
Exactly.
And the rain wouldn't seep into it, take your glue off, and make your wood come apart and split.
So I think that
And protect
there
your
was a
wood.
meaning to the white, and Notker also refers to the little process having a meaning too. So the reason for the Carolingian sword being, or the scabbard being white, probably had a meaning. And I assume that if it was polished,
Sorry, see you later, Rich. Farewell, Ridgestone.
if it was polished, it probably would look so crappy to the modern eye because it would look like a white plastic scabbard.
I suppose.
Yeah.
That's
So it's an
It
authentic.
wouldn't sell well, but it would have been beautiful back then to see such a work.
exactly. So
To them, it'd be unique.
If you have
Yeah.
a bleached white linen scabbard that is polished with virgin beeswax that is all clear, like Bambulus describes it.
And shiny and sparkly.
Look at my plastic scabbard.
It would almost look like a pearl scabbard. It would look pearl-like. Almost pearl-like.
Later in the 9th century, you do see, even in Carolingian depictions, you would see like green scabbards, or I think there's an Anglo.
I better go, guys. I've been here a long time,
The late 10th century.
and this has been a long feed, and I think we covered a lot of stuff and saw a lot of stuff, and I did the best I could under the circumstances doing a live feed from my phone. And we do have other videos we're going to be doing later today. But I know we could keep listening and listening and listening, but I think it might be time. Unless somebody wants me to stop, I will stay for a little bit longer. But I would say
I've never
far
found
better.
a scabbard leather that appears to have covered a scabbard that featured two.
We have 20 people watching, so if you want to keep watching.
There's a depiction of
Thanks for the stream, y'all. That's what I was going to say. It's about time. We've run out of stuff to look at. And like I said, as always, farewell, and take care of my shield brothers. Ooh, I rotated the wrong. trying to figure out how to get out of here.
bit. I just wanted to chew it.
Okay.
Not badly enough to really warrant
Oh,
much.
thank you as well for viewing.
Watch that.
Yeah, I'm going to get ready to end this as soon as I can figure out how I forgot.
Parts of it were
last
so
time.
thin from the get-go.
I think it's just a button here, a little. Want me to hit it? All right. See y'all later. Bye.
My camera too to just